Welcome to the Takeover Podcast. This is Tapes.
This is Zach.
And today, this is by far, listen, we done listed out a whole bunch of things that we want to do, but this is by far going to be one of the favorite episodes that we're going to do outside of Tapes Takeover Podcast. We're bringing to you the Dawn, which is highly anticipated. Weeknd announced it at the start of this year, and he brought it out for us right in time, first week of the new year. What you think about that, Zach?
This is probably my most anticipated album probably ever because, I'm an Eminem fan. He just drops randomly. I've never been told straight up before, like, hey, I'm dropping it this Friday, be ready. So this whole week was torture for me, even though he was dropping snippets. I needed the album, and when I heard it, bro, I can't even put into words.
Yeah, bro, that's how I feel. Like, I'm not too big on male artists, but The Weeknd is by far the best male artist there is, by far. I mean, he has no competition.
Definitely the biggest.
Yeah, like outside of Kanye, I feel like he's the biggest artist of this decade. Leading into 2020, he's definitely going to be a very pinnacle factor.
Yep.
Of the 20s.
Today he broke his all-time monthly listeners on Spotify, so he's getting even bigger, which is scary to think about.
Because, I mean, he took over the 10s as well, but the 20s is definitely going to be his. So,
I feel like, for sure.
Go ahead, man.
20s is going to be his as well. Because 10s, he ran it, but a lot of artists did too. But I feel like 20s, he's going to definitely run it again, but this time, it's going to be more mainstream.
Oh, yeah.
Like, cause he's going to be in the spotlight the entire decade.
Yeah, The Weeknd is bringing all of his sound together. Through all the albums that he's made, he's bringing it all together. So, yeah.
And he's got so many different sounds. Like, he could run with any of them and make an amazing album.
Exactly, man. So, yeah, like I said, I'm very excited about this. Like, I couldn't wait for this. The whole day, going through work, I was thinking about it, driving home, just thinking about talking about this. I'm just so happy. Very, very happy.
Bro, I can't tell you how many notes I've done taking, how many times I've re-listened,
exactly,
how many like I've paraphrased in my head what I want to say.
Right.
Like, I can't even, bro.
No diss to Gunna, but I have not even checked it out yet. And real time right now, recording this on a Wednesday, and I still haven't checked it out. So that should let y'all know something.
Like, I've listened to this album, I think, like 19 times.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Gunna fan, but I've literally played 2 songs off Gunna, and I'm like, let me go turn on back on some Abel.
Yeah, more of the story. The Weeknd is here. I think this is going to be the best album of 2022.
I think it is, too.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to start off with an analysis the picture that this album has painted for us, to say the least. I would say this album painted for me, and this is because no analysis is right. This is my take on it. I would say this put me in the mind frame of the dark. This is basically the darkness for the dawn. The dawn is the top of the morning, right, Zach? If I'm
about 7 a.m.
Yeah,
we did a whole
about 7 a.m.
Yeah.
About 5 a.m. About 5 a.m. where people are still sleeping. Some people getting up for work, some people are not. You might have like a little Hardee's open or something like that, but no restaurants are open. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just that's when you're in your thoughts. So that's when you're fresh, you're ready, you're out of bed, you're ready to go. And so, but this is more of a, not the dawn as in like a happy dawn. This is like a sad morning dawn. And starting out when he goes with Gasoline, The Weeknd basically wants to die. His girl, obviously from After Hours, we can already see what type of female she was. Obviously, she was breaking his heart based off the tracks.
Belonging to the streets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Throw her to the side. And he basically wants to die. Pour out the gasoline on me, basically. And that's telling him, like, bro, like, you got to come back from that. Like, no, we cannot do this. You did this in After Hours. You didn't want, like, you got to leave her alone. She's for the streets. Okay, it's time for you to come back to the life weekend. We got to stop singing this sad depression-ish, and we just got to get back on our shit. we got to get back to life. So that's basically how I look at it. And then when he goes into How Did I Make You Love Me, he's still pleading out for, like, what can I do? That's basically like I done did all I can. I wanted to die. You brought me back. She didn't basically want to have him die. So it's like, okay, well, what can I do? You feel where I'm coming from, Zach? Like,
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, what can I do? She's basically leading him on, temptation-wise. This is very much a temptation type of album. Like, she's very tempting him, leading him on.
And we know who he's probably talking about, too.
Uh-huh.
He's got a habit of mentioning, yep.
So Take My Breath, y'all should all know about Take My Breath. I don't really have to go deep into that because that came out. That was a single before the album. So you should already have a picture painted for that. And then that goes into Sacrifice. He sacrificed all his time for this one woman, and she's still trying to take my man's time. Like, why? Why do you want much more of my time when you're not giving me anything?
Bro, that song brings serious
like
Thriller vibes. Yeah. Like, that reminds me a ton of Thriller.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you.
Because the dancing.
I cannot believe you.
Because he brought in Quincy Jones, who was the brain behind Thriller. Yes. And if I didn't even know that beforehand, I was still like, bro, this is Thriller. Because in the video, too, like, they do, like, a dance that's not quite, like, it's not the Thriller dance, but it's, like, its own Thriller dance. Yeah. Like, they're doing their own thing. Right. And you can just feel it. Like the paranormal, like, because, MJ was, like, a freaking, I don't know, like a monster. No, Abel wasn't a monster, but the people in the video, bro, it was like some demons. Right. So he was definitely following those footsteps. You could feel the Michael Jackson influence. Yeah, like, if most of y'all haven't done your research, I would suggest y'all do your research on Quincy. So, yeah, definitely a big major part to Michael Jackson's success. Not saying he wouldn't have been successful without him, but still. But still, yeah, that was very huge factor to Thriller. So, that goes into Out of Time. That's basically like another version of Sacrifice, in my opinion. It's one of those songs that on the outside just sounds so happy, but if you pull up a Genius app on your phone and you look at the lyrics, like, bro, this is like almost trilogy lyrics. Yeah. But it's just that Starboy sound, that radio sound is put over it. Yeah. Like, he's like, basically, like, bro, he's running out of time. We're clock is ticking. like yeah, stop. Literally a TikTok. Like, stop suffocating yourself for this one female, please. Here, or several, who knows with them. Here we go again. Very self-explanatory. Back at square one. You keep on running back to her. Best friends, very toxic masculinity song. Very toxic. But this, bro, this right here, this track from Best Friends to around Every Angel is Terrifying, these 4 tracks, there is a freaking beautiful transition on every single one. Right. The first time I listened to this, I'm like, my God, how long is this song? It's been like 7 or 8 minutes. I pull up my Spotify, like, I'm 4 tracks down. I'm like, huh? Like, I literally would have never noticed if I didn't open up my app. Like, it was so that smooth. It just feels like one big song. Right. Best Friends, I wish it was longer. Like, it was Me too. That song is great, bro. Like, you don't have sex as friends no more. Like, because come on, man. On After Hours, he had like 3, 4, 5 songs that were about 4.5, 5, 6 minutes. On this one, I think only 2 songs cracked the 4-minute mark, which kind of made me sad because his best songs are usually his longest. Yeah. But the 3-minute songs are still great. I just wish it was just a little longer. Right. And so then that goes into Is There Someone Else? Obviously, it seems like girl has led him on, and there's someone else in the background, right? Like, oh yeah, there is, yeah. And so that leads into the last tracks of the album. He finds out there is someone else, and he's going right back into that dark place once again. And that goes into I Heard You're Married. Very great, underrated track. We all know who that one's about. I don't think I gotta say anymore. And then Less Than Zero, that's basically saying, like, it is what it is. I'm back to bleeding. I'm back to my heart back hurting. I guess you're happy.
You know, I was your like basically no one else is gonna compare to me. I was your best friend. I was the one holding you down, and this is how you do me. And so guess what?
Bro,
Your ass is less than zero.
Less than
rating,
zero
bro.
sounds like some freaking Disney rom-com, like something that would play like in the outro when the couple gets back together, but in the best way possible. That's not me degrading it. That's like me praising it. Like it sounds like that, like silky and smooth and like upbeat, beat wise, you know, lyrics wise, you know, it's another
That was a
House of Balloons type sad.
to a chapter.
Yeah,
that was a close to a chapter. So yeah, that's my.
And then you got
take.
Jim Carrey spitting bars. Whew.
So yeah,
I didn't know he had it in him.
Narration was perfect. It made me feel like I was in a '70s album. Really, it didn't feel like a 2020s album. It felt like a '70s,
For sure.
'80s type album, and that's what I feel like he was going for. With having Quincy Jones on there, I feel like that's what he was going for. I mean, that's the sound that he was going for, and it definitely worked. So. Yeah.
All right, now for my analysis. I'm gonna keep this brief because, you know, we went song by song, so I'm gonna my analysis. I'm gonna look at it the bigger picture. If that makes sense.
Just give the bigger picture because you gave your analysis in there too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like Dawn FM is literally FM. It's basically a radio station. Like it starts off with Jim Carrey basically coming like welcome to 103.5 Abel Sings. Like it's a radio station. Like it's like. And then gasoline comes in, and then you have the transitions, and it just feels like one big radio station. And then, I don't know how many tracks in, but Jim Carrey comes in again. Then you'll have an interlude by Quincy, which makes it feel more of like a radio, because it's not just song after song after song. There's like skits that come in. And then to end the album is Phantom Regret by Jim Carrey, which is just 3 minutes of him just rhyming, like telling a story. You just feel like you're in freaking heaven. Like freaking, like this album would have been good without the narration. Of course, like this is probably one of the best vocal performances of the year. But when you add this narration and these skits, and you put the aesthetic of it being a radio station. Because I remember back in a couple months ago on Twitter, Memento Mori, he said the album was done. He just was missing a few key narratives to the picture. And Abel found those narratives, and he freaking put it on 100. Like, I would have never thought, you know, like, I have my album, I have all the songs done, but let's make it a radio station.
Right.
Let's bring in one of the most iconic actors of all time. That's one of it. Like usually a comedian actor, like he does comedy, and have him come in and do like this serious role that some artists would have voiced it themselves. Some would have brought in one of their friends. Like some would have brought in a serious actor, but he brought in like one of his good friends in real life, Jim Carrey, that used to be his neighbor, that still might be. So I thought that was really brilliant that he did.
Oh yeah.
And you can. And a lot of this album, you can feel a Prince influence, and you can definitely feel a Michael Jackson influence more than anyone.
Heavy on the Michael Jackson.
Like Michael Jackson, because even on the remix music video for Sacrifice he released last night, he was dancing on the tiles like it was freaking Billie Jean.
Yeah.
So any chance he gets to pay homage to Lily, his idol, he's gonna do it.
Oh yeah. That you're wrapping that up? That's your analysis?
Yeah, that's my analysis.
Okay, cool.
Like he's gonna do it.
So basically, that's what we did. That's how we came up with our analysis. I did. Basically, I had it one by one, went song by song, went down in order, and Zach kind of brought it all in together with the bigger picture.
Like the bigger picture.
So I like that. That was our brief analysis. So now, for the next segment of this, we're gonna go into our top 3 songs and some of our least favorite. So my top 3, definitely Best Friends is one.
I mess with that. Yeah, that was smooth. That was a sort of like the second kick on the album.
Yeah, Best Friends is number 1 just because of the significance on it. Like, you know, you don't want to have sisters friends no more. You know,
you can relate to that one, Shaw. Can you relate?
Come on, man. We are on podcast.
You was feeling the lyrics a little too heavy, bro.
We are on podcast, man. I can't speak on that.
You can't disclose this information.
Yeah, but but you know, I ain't gonna say I can relate.
You can tell me later. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But it is something that yeah, I might as well say I can relate. Yeah, I can relate to that. And it's just like when you're in that scenario, and you know, it's just like, bro, like, yeah, you did me wrong. I might have did what I did, but it's like, damn, you still can't hit it off. It's like that. Like, that's how you gonna do me. And so,
you gonna do me dirty?
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's how you gonna do me after all this time we done spent. You know, it's just like you just can't give it up that easy. So yeah, that's number one. Number two, I'm gonna go with Sacrifice. I think I'm gonna go with Sacrifice.
Ooh, that's a solid pick.
Yeah, Sacrifice, just because of the same significance. I can relate. I've spent a lot of dead time on females that didn't mean shit to me, and I feel like I wasted a whole lot of time. I could have either been with someone better or been spending time with myself, focusing on myself, focusing on the grind and on the money. So I can definitely
say it how it is.
I can definitely relate to that. Sacrifice. Look, one word, significance. Sacrifice is everything, man. Time and everything, bro. Make sure all that shit matters, man. One person can really kill a whole lot of years, months, days, years. So yeah, definitely relate. And then lastly, I would do Gasoline. Paint that picture of, like, you know, just pour that gasoline on me, light it up, put me in that bag, and just let me be free. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that was definitely a grower for me.
You said what?
My first listen, that was a grower for me. Because my first listen, that was the opener track. Like, what the? But when I heard it again on my second listen, it was instantly one of my favorites.
It's a significance. Like one thing about me, bro, I'm basing when I do rankings and anything with music, when you realize it's something either I can relate to, or how is it painting a picture for me. And so I could just see that, like, you know, just pour out the gasoline.
I'm the same way for the most part.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my top three, and then my least favorite. Really, my least favorite. I don't really have least favorites. This album is amazing. So if
it's like a big picture.
It's gonna be Starry Eyes. That's one song that I can't really depict in a sense. I gotta do some more homework.
Like, you don't relate to it?
I gotta do some more homework on that one. I can't really.
Yeah.
I can't really. You know. I don't know. And then probably the second one, I'll probably do Don't Break My Heart.
That's probably the biggest grower for me. Like, that one's so freaking catchy. Like, radio hit catchy.
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead with your
my top three. My number one is there someone else? The production on this is unlike anything I've ever heard. Because the best friends into Is There Someone Else transition might be the best transition of the past decade. I'm not just saying that. Like, that's probably the best transition I've ever heard in his discography. And, you know, he had that song on the teaser, so you already kind of knew the beat of it, but when you heard it in the full sense of the transition leading into the song,
yeah,
it stuck with me more than anything.
Right.
My number two, I would have to go with Out of Time. This is the one that when I was listening to the lyrics and looking it up on Genius, this was the one I related to the most, like, at first. Because he's basically telling the girl, he still has feelings for her, and, like, you know, he's, like, not over her or whatever, but he's basically out of time.
Yeah.
Like, and there's not more to be done. Which is basically, shoot. Bro was spitting on that one.
Yeah, very much.
And the third one, you know, the third one is Less Than Zero. The one I said that felt like a Disney Channel in the best way. Like, that is just I really hope that Less Than Zero is one of the pushed singles for the album that gets a music video or gets sent to airplay, gets performed at award shows, something.
Yeah.
Because that is too catchy and freaking too silky smooth not to just skip over as an album cut. Now for songs I don't like, let's be honest, I like them all. But the one I would like the least of them all would probably be Here We Go Again with Tyler on it.
Yeah.
I just felt like there was a lot more to be done. I think it's still a solid song. But Tyler is the man who made Igor. Like, he's used that outlandish, not traditional production. And I just felt like they could have... might have been a little rushed. Like, I felt they went another way. It could have been a little better. It could have stuck out a little more.
Yeah.
Like, it could have had its own part of the album and stole the show.
That song,
I don't, it's just... at first, when it started off, it reminded me of Snow Child for some reason, off After Hours, because the movie references, and he's kind of flexing a little.
Yeah,
I'm feeling it.
Snow Child.
Like, I was feeling it. Well, I was at start, but then I kind of grew off me. Like, I was feeling it. And then Tyler, he still does good. But it's just, Tyler on a Weekend album, he was good, but it just felt weird.
Yeah.
Like, he fit the song. It was just, it shocks me.
Yeah.
Like, it's not someone who you would think would be on Dawn FM, even though Abel said Tyler was one of the rappers he wanted to work with for the album, or in the future. Yeah, but that one definitely shocked me.
Yeah. So that's it for you?
Yeah, that's my least favorite.
Okay. So for the next segment, we're gonna go with production and replay value. So this is gonna be a little condensed and not gonna really, go all in too deep with replay value, because it kind of just dropped. So that's gonna be, kind of off the sly. So production was amazing. Like I said, dating back, it gave me an 80s feel. It gave me a real 80s feel production. Like it was just, how could I describe it? I'll give it like a mixture of, because After Hours had great production.
After Hours is
not the production like this. This had better production than After Hours by far.
You think so?
Yeah, by far. So I would probably say like a Starboy, because he had great production on that album. Great production.
Yeah, it goes underrated because he brought Daft Punk in.
Yeah.
That album goes unnoticed.
Like this, production wise, this is probably gonna go next to Beauty Behind Madness.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's an underrated production wise.
Yeah. So yeah, Starboy. That's what it kind of get. It's like a Starboy production with After Hours lyrics. Boom.
I can feel that.
There we go. Replay value. This is definitely just like After Hours. It's gonna age well. Really, none of his albums age bad. None of them.
Because there's only one that doesn't exactly have the mainstream success, which is Kissland, but that's literally only because he was making 7-minute songs and none of them got sent to radio. And that's before he blew up mainstream-wise. So that's like the only reason that one didn't blow up. Like, all of his albums go off. They do numbers. They go platinum. They might have some diamond hits on there. Yeah, so replay value will never be a problem for the Weeknd. So, yeah, replay value is definitely going to be there. See, that's my take on that. All right. My take on the production, I felt like this was Kissland mixed with Starboy. It had like the radio-ish feel of Starboy, but the production-wise, where it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, because Kissland had the whole Japanese feel. This had the whole kind of nostalgic. It had the 80s, like, he was taking you back in time. Now, these songs weren't 6 and 7 minutes long, like Kissland was, but it was like shortened 3-minute songs of that. And for replay value, I would say that this is probably going to be in his top 3 albums for has most replay value in it. Because I feel like this is going to have the replay value of Starboy, because I feel like because these songs are only 3 minutes long. So I feel like this Like, a lot of it's gonna be center radio, a lot of it's gonna be TikTok sounds, a lot of it's you're just gonna hear nonstop. Whether it be on soundtracks, whether it be on memes, you're gonna hear this a lot, just like you heard Starboy. Like, this is gonna still be blowing up years from now, like how Die For You recently blew up.
Okay. So, now for the final segment of this wonderful, wonderful episode. We could talk about the Don FM all night. But we're going to wrap it up with what is next for the weekend after this. And what does this rank in his discography? Not as a whole. This is just on verbatim. Right?
Yeah, like it's no one is right.
So,
you can be wrong if you're too much out there, but no one's right.
Right. So, what's next? I feel like the weekend, this is going to be a trilogy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, he announced on his Twitter he started teasing it.
Okay, so yeah, you can definitely tell it's going to be another part to it. My take on the next album, I feel like, you see, I've been thinking about, like, because I always think about, okay, what is going to be next after this? And it's hard for me to figure out what direction he would go. I feel like he could go in a direction where, because she basically went off and got someone else. So, maybe he ends it off and this character dies officially.
Because he's been he did a different character for After Hours than on this album. So maybe on the next one he does a different character, or he just goes back to normal.
Yeah. Or the character really finally finds himself. And
Shoot. That old man that he has in the music videos, shoot, he might not make it to the next album, he's so old.
That's what makes sense of him being the old man for the Don. That's why I was saying he dies off in the next one. Or he finds himself. It's so many directions you can go, but those are my top 2 picks for the next album. I don't think we're gonna get an upbeat album for the trilogy, the third part of the trilogy. I don't see that. Yeah. I don't see that happening. I feel like maybe you would get you're definitely not getting a start, because this was more Starboy vibes. Maybe
for sure.
Maybe you'll get like not a House of Balloons, maybe like a Kissland, or
like some long songs with heavy production that's not relying on radio.
Yeah,
you're saying?
Yeah, something like that.
I hope so. I
like,
really
not
hope
something
so.
that's just so mainstream, to say the least.
That's not 3 minutes in and out.
Yeah, this would be like complete, and and I feel like that's when the weekend would take time off. Like, he would take off maybe a year.
He does. Yeah. He does have the HBO show, The Idol, I think it's called The Idol, coming out within the next 2022, 2023, so that's soon.
So, yeah.
And plus he's got to start touring soon, so.
Yeah, he's definitely going to take a break after this, bro. He has done a lot, man, with this trilogy. And I would rank this, right now, I would just say not before After Hours, and not before I can't even think of the album name right now. Wasted Times and Call My Name.
Oh, My Dear Milcon.
Yeah, MDM. Not gonna put it before them two, and that's how I'm gonna leave it at that.
I gotta let it age before I put it over some of his ones.
We're gonna put it at 4 for right now, before Starboy, and it can't be put before Beauty Behind Madness right now. So we're going to put it right in the sweet spot of 4. Go ahead, Zach.
I feel that. All right, what's next? I feel like this is going to be a trilogy, just like Tape said. We had the After Hours. The After Hours are over, like he said. The Dawn is here. But a lot of people on Twitter have been reading into that the next album is going to be called Afterlife. Because Abel said, I'm tired of y'all talking about old trilogy. That was a decade ago. We're in the new trilogy now. Mm-hmm. So I think Afterlife is going to come out. I'm not going to say like within a year or so, but I feel like it's going to come out within at least somewhere in 2023.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be somewhat soon. Like, this is going to be a trilogy, and then probably after the trilogy, I would guess he would take some time off. But also he did say he's going to go crazy this entire decade, so don't expect him to be too long, or too long.
Like a year or two.
like a Frank Ocean or a Kendrick Lamar, he's not going to be gone 3, 4, 5 years.
Nah, he'll be like a Drake.
Like he'll
be like a Drake. Just be consistent.
Worst case, he's going to be like a Drake. Like he's going to drop those constant features, those constant like singles that blow up, but not exactly an album.
Yeah.
Where does this rank in his discography? I would say I don't want to put it like above the classics, but I would say off first listen, I would put this over My Dear Melancholy because it's much longer, it's much more fleshed out. And I would put it above Starboy because Starboy had a little too many skips for me. I would put it over those two because I still put After Hours over this, but those are the two that I would put it over first week. Now, over time, it can go up some more, but that's just what I'm going to put it above now,
right,
for the time being.
That's respectable.
Yeah.
So not above Beauty Behind
will
Madness.
Go up over time. Oh no, Beauty Behind the Madness is like my number top 3 at least.
I feel like that cannot get removed.
Oh, there's certain albums like House of Balloons or Beauty Behind the Madness that I will never drop down.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a long time for the replay value to see if it kicks in to put anything even next to it or above it.
Right. I feel like what really hurt The Weeknd early in his career is, like you were saying, the long songs with no radio pushes, to say the least. And
that's what made me a fan.
It was a long
songs
and the real long albums. Not starting out, I feel like that wasn't the move.
It took him a minute to blow up. Like, of course, he had Wicked Games, The Morning, all that. But once he started making hit songs like Can't Feel My Face and Earned It, In the Hills and In the Night, he definitely blew up.
Yeah.
Which was a good move.
But After Hours, he's in his prime right now.
Shoot, I don't think bro's ever left his prime. Freaking, there's not one era in his discography that I would be like, yeah, that was B tier, that wasn't it. I kind of wish he'd kept that one in the vault.
Nah, I feel like After Hours is definitely, that's the start of the prime, because now he's very, very mainstream now. And he's not going nowhere anytime soon.
That's for sure.
You gotta think, he got Super Bowl and all in the same year. Like,
yeah.
He's
that's the beautiful
his fan base more and more.
So much. Like, that's the beautiful thing for me. All my favorite albums of his are spread out throughout his discography. So in my eyes, like, his prime is just going.
Right.
Like, I'm not one of those fans that are like, oh, well, Trilogy's his prime. And if he ain't doing Trilogy, I don't want it. Like, I'm not one of those. So, like, I feel like him and Bruno Mars have the two most flawless, don't miss discographies in R&B and pop I've ever seen in my life.
Michael Jackson.
That's fair. But I don't usually put him up there. I don't know, because I don't put him up there because they release a lot of BS after he died, like how they do with some artists. So I don't know.
That doesn't count.
And I haven't listened to a lot of his earlier albums, like freaking Ben and all that. So I can't exactly speak fully on that.
He definitely.
But MJ did not miss either.
Yeah,
I can put that as a testament.
Yeah, like
did
I
not
said,
miss.
There's plenty more artists that you got to go through too. Like, I'm sorry, call it what you want, but R. Kelly, if you know, he never had misses in his discography as well. So, yeah, there's a lot to learn. But yeah, that was a great episode. Wrapping up the weekend.
Our first album review.
First album review for Tapes Takeover Podcast. Just wanted to give a little quick reflection on our first episode. I'm really thankful for the ones that tuned in. Thankful for the ones that shared, comment, left us thoughts, or even texted us personally. Let us know what you thought. Just know it doesn't go unnoticed. Your support means a lot. And it's going to go a long way. We're here to stay. We're here to be consistent. And we're here to just push out great content for y'all and doing what we love.
And we're on YouTube. And we're on Spotify.
Yeah. Apple Music.
Spotify, if you're not at home, you don't want to leave your YouTube open. Spotify is the best way to stream Tapes Takeover Podcast.
Look,
you can just put it on
while you at work,
wherever you want, working out, just in your bedroom playing 2K, literally just whatever you want, like wherever you're at.
And we're not even a long podcast, man. We're giving y'all under an hour every time,
every single time.
So why not take that little hour, that little 35 minutes out of your day to check us out, man? So just continue to spread the word to your peoples, man. Like I said, we're here to stay. We're here to be consistent. Just like I said, we just dropped Monday, and this is gonna be a great special to have out for Friday. We're gonna have this out for you all. So really hope you enjoyed our first album review. Be on the lookout for us Monday, as we have, Zach,
the top 10 songs of 2021.
Yes, from me.
Why did I say it like that?
Because you want someone to say 22.
It's kind of like I kind of want to say 2022, but I kind of like forgot like what is the next day? Like what is our next episode?
Right, man. Like
man,
I said, man.
Top 10 songs of 2021.
None of this is scripted, man. We raw and uncut. So,
of course.
So yeah, man. This has been our first hour review. The Weekend Don from Tapes and Zach. Comment down below if y'all want any suggestions on what y'all want us to do. You let us know. Like I said, we have it planned out. We know what we do in our episodes. We don't just come in bullshit and just be like, oh, let's do this one day. We actually have it mapped out what we want to do. But if you want to make a suggestion for us, if you feel like you want to be on Tape Takeover Podcast, by all means, hit us up. We're
open ears.
Yeah. So
all ears.
So Zach, if you're done, I'm done.
I've said my piece.
All right, man. This has been the Tapes Takeover Podcast first album review. Stay tuned for the next one. And we're out.
We'll see y'all next time.